Alright, this is MLG, this is RPG at day 2. And the question is what I look for in an RPG. So, what I look for in an RPG, for some reason I feel like it's really specific. Here it is. I'm looking for a game that is gonna provide a genre. So first, I look at all the genres and I do. Okay, so this is like a Western genre. This is a sci-fi genre. This is a modern contemporary genre. This is a warfare genre, fantasy, horror, etc. Then I look at another category. I look at is it a story game or is it an RPG? Then I look at other category to decide. Make I dichotomize, I separate them in category, and I make the choice out of what I want. Sometimes I want an RPG, sometimes I want a story game, and sometimes I want a horror story game, and sometimes I want a horror RPG. So it's not the same. So I go like that, and then what I do is I go for the game design. But the game design, what it means to me is the intention of the designer needs to be fulfilled by the mechanics. So for example, first thing, if a game has no intention, this is a game about exploration, and doesn't mean anything. It's not. You cannot say that this is what the game is about. The game needs to be about something, and that something needs to be clearly expressed by the designer of the game, the writers. So when you get the game, you know what you're getting in, and then they need to justify that intention with their design. So for me, like, if you say my game is about consequences or hard choices in a dying world, well, we need rules to create these situations in play where you gonna have hard choices that's gonna bring consequences to your character, or something like that. If you say your game is about finding the murderer in a whodunit style polar, nice, perfect, this is a clear intention of the game. Alright, so you need rules about alibi, about clues, about arrestations, about mobiles. For the suspects, you're gonna have rules for interrogation. If the game doesn't have that to justify their intention, no go for me. Then what I look for in an RPG is that these rules create the experience it says it's gonna create in play. And so it has to give me that, but it has to give me that every time I play, not like randomly 1 out of 5 sessions. Every time I sit at the table, it gives me that. There you go. So what I'm looking for is a good game that will provide me with the experience I was looking for buying it. There you go. RPG at day 2. Thank you for watching. Talk to you soon.